Hey everyone, welcome to the Risk and Reward Lab. Alright, so today we're testing a roulette strategy called the Bermuda Triangle. And I'll be honest, this one is actually pretty fun to play. Even more fun when you're winning $610 over 50 spins. The strategy is simple, it's aggressive, and it kind of feels like you're covering everything even though you're really not. Let's take a look at the rules and see how it works. We're placing 3 bets at the same time that form what looks like a triangle on the board. So you either bet 1 through 18, first 12, and even, or you bet on the other end, 19 to 36, the third 12, and odd. So you're basically stacking 3 overlapping bets. If you lose, you simply add a unit to each bet, and of course reset when you're back in session profit. The first bet is a full win. That's a win on each of the 3 bets. So we'll move to the other side, place $10 on each of the bets, and spin. Okay, that's another full $40 win. The surprising thing is there are only 6 numbers that can represent a full win. So basically about 16% of the board. So we're off to a really lucky start here. Okay, a $20 partial win. That's our first partial win of the session. You actually have 9 numbers that can represent a partial win. So about 25% of the board. There's a 13 black. That is a partial loss. We only hit one of our bets. On any loss, you simply add a unit to each of the bets. So in this case, we're doubling the bet, but technically only adding 1 unit to each. Okay, 15 black. That's another partial loss, only $20. But we do move up 1 unit, so now we're up to $30 on each of our bets for a total bet of $90. There's a 10 black, and that's a huge $120 win. That takes us back into session profit, and not just back into session profit, but $90 higher. So now we can reset the bets and spin. Here's a quick look at the breakdown of what we just talked about. A couple surprising things here. A full loss will happen on 10 numbers, and probably most surprisingly is you're betting on 27 numbers, but you only win on 15 out of the 27 bets, so about 40% of the time. As you can see, we're hitting a bit of a losing stretch here. And now the bets are progressing to 40 on each bet. Another loss there, and we're heading to the highest bet of the session, $50 on each bet. We hit all 3 with that one, so that's a huge $200 win. Almost back in session profit, up $190. Previously, we were up $230. I made a judgment call right there to go ahead and respin and try to get much higher in session profit. All right, $160 win. That's a nice solid win, but session profit wise, only up $30. So we need another win or two. Let's see what happens. That's a 25 red and the jackpot win we needed. $360 win. We're up 390 on the session. So with that, we can finally reset. Just after celebrating that huge recovery, the biggest of the session, we now enter into the biggest drawdown of the session. And this is where we uncover the weakness of the system. As you'll see, we go on to lose 5 in a row, partial losses, and then have one big full loss. Again, the partial losses is when you only hit one of your 3 bets. So basically, we lost 6 bets on numbers 17 and higher. And you know, that is a very common occurrence. So that's one area I'm going to focus on when I look to enhance this system. Finally a win there, and a full win at that. We're still not in session profit, so it'll take one more win or big win to take us back into session profit and reset. And there it is, $280 win. We're well above session profit at $440. The rest of the session is pretty smooth. We'll keep spinning here and see how it goes, and in a couple minutes I'll do a final analysis. Okay, as we head into the final stretch of the session, after 50 spins, we finished up $610. And overall, this was actually a really solid session. We learned even though this strategy covers 27 out of 37 numbers, really only 15 of them actually make money. That's about 40% of the board, and that kind of winning coverage normally sees periods of steep drawdowns. As an example, the popular YouTuber Roulette Master lost the $2,000 bankroll when he demoed this system, so we know that possibility is definitely there. I plan to analyze and enhance this system, and with the help of AI, to optimize how we play it. Maybe there's a way to reduce the risk during those losing streaks, or improve the entry timing, or maybe even tweak the progression itself. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you're subscribed. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, manage your risk and have fun playing out there.